Hello and welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking about aggressive open houses. I'm just going to go ahead and give a warning up front. This video is going to be a good bit longer than most. There's a lot of ground to cover, and even regardless of how long I let this video go, we're not going to be able to get through all of it in great detail. So please, at the end, if you have any questions or anything that you're unsure of, feel free to contact me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Now, in all the other videos, I always put up this slide and say, hey, if you can't fully commit to be consistent, don't bother watching the video. There's nothing in the world I can say that would be more true of this open house program. This done properly will completely supplant all your other lead generation activity. That's not a joke. We will put 15 to 20 highly qualified leads in your funnel on a weekly basis, in and out, if you do this. It takes a lot of work to get it set up and to get all your systems in place. It really does. Because doing open houses and doing them properly is all about systems. But once you get the hang of it, once you've done 3 or 4 or 5, it really becomes routine and it becomes actually really easy. I want to take a step back and say, hey, here's according to the 2016 study from the National Association of Home Buyers, it's easy to forget that about half the people nowadays are going to open houses. It's with all the digital marketing and the way everything is going in the digital realm, we tend to forget that people are still going to open houses. I'd say at least in our market and several others that I've talked to, there's been a resurgence in open house activity. This is your chance to own that. If literally half the buyers out there are going to open houses, why don't you grab them before another agent does? Now, as I said, open houses are a system. They are a lifestyle. This is not just put a couple of yard signs out, put it up in the MLS, and sit there at the dinner table waiting for someone to come by, kind of twiddling your thumbs. This is a very active process that starts 2 or even 3 weeks before the actual open house. It's a lot of prep for a very short event, and then has a long follow-up on the back end with the clients that you're going to be generating from this. The folks that you're going to be meeting at the open house, they're going to be the highest quality leads you will ever get, in that you're going to know them, you'll have already talked to them, you'll have met them face to face, you'll have had a chance to qualify them on the spot. So when they leave, you're going to know a lot about them, and when you contact them, it will not be a cold call. It won't even be a lukewarm call. It's going to be a very warm call. It's going to be, hey, it was great to see you yesterday, John. How's Susan doing? Oh, that's great. Hey, what? Can you give me any feedback on the house? Anything that you liked or didn't? Okay, great. Okay, so you didn't really care for that. Do you like the neighborhood? Hey, I have these other houses available in the neighborhood that I think would meet your needs. When would be a good time to go look at some of them? That's the easiest call you could possibly make. So there's going to be a lot of highly qualified activity there, but it does take a lot of work. Now, preparation is the absolute key to a blockbuster open house. You may notice I'm speaking a little bit more slowly than I do in a lot of the other videos. It's because I want to be very clear about what goes into this. You're looking to get at least 50 to 100 people in that open house. If you've never had that many people in an open house, you'll see you're going to feel absolutely wiped out by the end, because that's a lot of introductions, that's a lot of names to remember, that's a lot of quick notes to take. It's a lot of people to just kind of circulate and make sure that they're getting the proper view of the home and getting everything that they need from it. And so you're going to have to start a couple of weeks out. You're going to do some physical, sign placement, some marketing. We're going to do some digital marketing, and it is going to be a bit ridiculous, but that's by design. Now, if you're starting out or you don't have any listings to work with, that's fine. And talk to your Redefy teammates. I'm sure they have listings that that owner probably wants an open house, but the agent just doesn't want to do it. You can also call a FSBO and absolutely blow their mind and say, hey, I'm not asking for your listing. I'm not going to try to back end it and say, hey, what are you doing on the buy side after you sell? Say, I just want to host an open house for your home. And if I generate a buyer from that open house for your home, I want to be compensated as a buyer's agent. What for sale by owner in their right mind is going to say no? It's an easy one, right? Because who else is chasing open houses for FSBOs? You could even go so far as to call a friend that you have at another brokerage and offer to host an open house for their listing. Because they may be exhausted or just too busy, or they don't want to do it, whereas the seller of that house does. And so, hey, they're able to provide a service and get that open house, held for them, even if that agent isn't doing it. And that's another great way to generate leads. That other agent may want a referral fee if you do generate a buyer for that house. Okay, so what? It's cost you nothing. You didn't have to do all the listing appointment, all the other work to get it in there. You're just throwing the open house and collecting a ton of buyers off of it. Now, when I say we're going to be creating a spectacle, I really want to create a spectacle. We're going to go over the top. The first section is we're going to be sending out notices to everyone in the neighborhood. It's going to be on bright yellow stock. It's going to say at the top, notice, on December 4th, I'm going to be hosting an open house over on 123 Main Street. We're going to have a lot more traffic than the neighborhood is used to. I apologize for the inconvenience that's going to cause. But please come over and check it out. We're going to have food. We're going to have music. We're also going to have some of our partner vendors available in the neighborhood. We'll have a contractor, a lawn care guy, a pest control, whatever it is for your vendors that you're going to invite. Just make them a resource, make them available, and let the potential sellers in the neighborhood know, hey, by the way, if you're thinking of selling, I'll be more than happy to provide a property valuation for you. And so that way you're kind of providing a lot of value for the neighborhood, and you're helping to generate foot traffic to your listing. I mean, hey, if they're out there, if they're in the neighborhood, what else are they doing? It'll take them 10 minutes to walk over and come check out your listing. And at a certain point, you're going to get enough of a crowd that it's just going to start attracting more folks. There's nothing that it draws a crowd like a crowd. And so you're going to kind of be taking advantage of that phenomenon. There is going to be some upfront cost, with the notices going out, whether you're printing, just having a print shop create these things and then, go out and deliver them, on door to door, or if you're doing every door direct mail and kind of splitting the cost with another vendor, whatever it is, there is going to be some cost with that. It's really going to depend on how many that you're sending out. Directionals for open houses, I recommend getting proper open house directionals. Talk to your manager, see if the office will chip in for some. If not, okay, then you own them, and you can have them printed at a local print shop or one of the dozens of online sites. If you're getting into a decent enough quantity, like 50 or so, you can generally get that price down to about $4 or $5 each. So there is a little bit of cost there. Of course, a giant yard flag, while it seems over the top, that's kind of the entire point. But it does attract people. It's yet another way to kind of reach out. I've used sign spinners in the past a few times. I have mixed feelings about them because you never really know what's going on out there. It's just some guy kind of flipping a sign and grabbing attention. I've had both good and bad experiences. So, that one's just kind of up to you. Really kind of anything that's going to catch attention is going to draw people in is what we're looking for. Yes, like I said, we're going to have open house signs kind of everywhere. Every major source of traffic in the area is going to have a line of signs from that intersection all the way to the house, through the neighborhood itself. Pretty much from the entrance, there's going to be basically just a giant runway down to that house. There's going to be the flag up there. There's absolutely going to be no chance that anyone who would want to see this open house is going to miss it. On the left, like I said, the notice is just going to be on this bright yellow stock. Just a quick message about it. I didn't really have one offhand. I just kind of pulled this offline. I don't recommend this verbiage, but it's just a visual example of what we're going to be sending out. Now, the day of the open house, like I said, you don't want just 1 or 2 directionals out. You want like 40 to 50. You're going to have this huge presence to the point that everyone who sees it is going to be like, I have no idea what's going on over there, but I gotta find out what this is about. So go ahead and put down a ton of them. There's going to be absolutely no mistake as to where your open house is. This is really your opportunity to show that you know how to market a house and get feet in the door. Not only are you going to generate buyers and possibly sell that house there, anyone else in that neighborhood that's thinking about selling, they're going to be looking at this and go, wow, this guy knows what the heck he's doing. I'm going with him. Once people are actually in there, We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff going on, and we're going to touch on that in just a second here. But once again, just for the leading up to the open house, go big. Be silly, be ridiculous, because you know what? Who cares? Your job is to sell that house and to generate leads. If it's a little tacky, okay. You're still generating leads and generating interest, which is the entire point. Now, at the open house, like I said, have the vendors pay for the food and entertainment if you do have any. That's their entree to the open house. But yeah, you can contact anyone. You can have contractors, roofers, lawn guys, pest control, loan officers, local pizzerias or cafes. Like, anyone can provide this stuff, and of course, you can have their marketing materials available out there for them. And I highly recommend they have someone on site as well. Think of it like this. Okay, if a lawn control company is, if they're going to pay, $30 or $40 to bring a spread for you, and you're bringing in 50 to 100 people, why wouldn't they want to have someone on site to talk to anyone about their lawn care needs? If there's other neighbors that are going to be coming over, that's a potential for them to convert that neighbor into a client for them. Or the people that are going to be buying a house, hey, they already have a lawn guy they can call when they do pull the trigger and actually make a purchase. Encourage them as strongly as possible to actually come in and just have someone on site. It's also going to help create the impression of an abundance in a crowd, and nothing draws a crowd like a crowd. So for a couple of weeks ahead of time, we're doing all this kind of big picture, slightly silly stuff to generate the interest. Now, about a week beforehand, we're going to start getting a bit more targeted. We're going to set up 2 Facebook ads, and we're going to do just regular Facebook posting. The short videos that we're going to do are just, hey, we're going to be hosting an open house, this date, this time, this address. Here you go. I recommend setting up a quick little template on Biteable, where you pretty much just go and change a couple of pictures and the address, and you can quickly put together a 30-second or 1-minute video that looks kind of cute, has fun little music, and kind of post that on auto post every couple of days for the 2 weeks leading up to it, to reach people organically. Without spending a lot of time doing it. The property flyer, go ahead and post that online as well, a couple of days beforehand. Just lots of little activity to help get the word out. So we're also going to be creating a geographically targeted ad for the open house. We're going to be grabbing everyone in the local area, probably like a 1 or 2 mile radius, depending on how dense everyone lives. And then we're also going to be going through and pushing through a little bit more targeted of an ad with a nice low spend, but enough to get more feet in the door. While we're setting up, we're going to go live on Facebook and Instagram, just kind of, hey, showing the food that's being set up, showing up the yard signs, just a real quick little thing. Say, hey, we're about to go live. You want to be here. You want to see this. So we have the over the top marketing, so bring in masses. The targeted marketing is really going to be going into kind of generating specific buyers off of your properties or off of your listing here. Now, do you want to mention the notices, the directionals, the yard flags, and all the stuff over here on the left, all these different places you can post your open house. If you're only generating 4 people per kind of channel here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 channels. So if you're able to generate 4 people from each one of those channels, that's 40 people. Now, if you've ever had an open house with 40 or more people, you know how absolutely crazy busy that is. Like, you barely have time to meet and greet and make sure that the house isn't being torn down just from all the activity. So that's kind of what we're going for, is to get a lot of people in there. And by putting out all these different channels and all these different mediums is how you're going to get feet in the door. Now, for those Facebook ads, like I said beforehand, we're going to set up just an invite type of ad. It's really going to be a boosted post, not really an ad, where we're going to ask them to text preview to your phone number. So when people are sending that in, hey, you have their contact information right there. They're actively contacting you, and you can respond, hey, great to hear from you. Is there specific information you're looking for? Is there a specific room you wanted to see? I can make sure that we're getting back to you once we have everything set up. Same thing during the open house. We're going to send out another very similar ad, with pretty much the same thing. You're going to have text code with directions and the preview pictures, all that kind of stuff. Basically, just driving people to your open house. You want to get face to face with these people, and then afterwards, you're going to kind of retarget them so that they can kind of see the pictures again. Like you've been out showing houses. After about the third house or so, or the third or fourth open house, they blend together. You start to forget which is which, and which had that second master suite, which one had the deck. What was that one over there? And so you're going to retarget these folks to say, hey, we haven't forgotten about you. Here's a chance to kind of refresh your memory with this property. And it's just a continuation of the conversation. So for Facebook, the boosted posts are going to be kind of this local saturation ad, where we're really just trying to reach out to the masses. And then all the retargeted stuff after the fact is really going to be going to the specific people that you're already having conversations with. Now, at the open house, there's going to be food, there's going to be the music that you have set up on some Bluetooth speakers. There's going to be a lot of people kind of coming in and out. You want to make sure to have them sign in right at the front door. Just have a little sign posted up saying, hey, please sign in. I want to be able to show the seller, the fantastic job that I'm doing. Please take a moment and just, fill out this contact information right here. I'll also have sign-in sheets available in the links below that you can use. Right there at the front table while they're signing in, have the property flyers. Have that nice one that you posted up on Facebook that looks great that you designed on Canva. It's just ready to go. And then in every room, you're going to have marketing material. And this is where your vendors can kind of help fill things in. Your loan officers will be more than happy to print a lot of stuff for you. They can create property-specific flyers with the sales price and payment information on the different types of loans, and they'll be happy to help fill this out. Just give them a few days of heads up. Say, hey, I want to do this on this property, and by the way, when you're printing that, can you also print give me copies of all of these flyers as well, and let them take care of all the printing costs. I always put up signs in like the bedrooms showing the difference in net worth of homeowners versus renters. In other rooms, I'll have signs with kind of the local market data, market update kind of a thing. In other rooms, I'll have signs up about me and my performance, especially relative to the market. Of hey, on the market, their average days on the market is 45, mine's 40. The average market list to sales price is 97, mine's 98.2. Just kind of really highlight how much better you are than the average agent. You can also have signs up in a couple of the rooms instructing guests that are thinking about selling their home to come talk to you and ask what Redefine and you specifically can do to help them. They're already there. They're in your open house. This is your chance to kind of get face-to-face with them. Show them, wow, all right, I'm already creating this huge crowd here. I know how to market a home. We're going to get this one sold. And by the way, I'm also saving them, $4,000 on the commission. If your neighbor, let's talk about your home. Let's talk about what your time frame is and what you think you can do. Hey, let's set up a time to have me come over and just do a property evaluation for you and give you a quick walkthrough if there's anything that you might need to adjust to bring up to kind of market standards. John downstairs, he's a contractor. He'll be more than happy to give you a quote for that as well. And so you can really just kind of have basically a little mini listing presentation right there. And that's a great way to win any sellers. So if you think about it, are they going to go ahead and interview 10 agents and when they've already seen what you can do? That's a much easier conversation to follow up with them a week, a couple days later or a week later, whatever their time frame is. Say, hey, have you thought about it anymore? By the way, did you talk to John? Hey, I'd be more than happy to come out and give you an updated home valuation. It's a very easy conversation. Also, I always have a book of other local listings that are similar to the home that's there at the open house. And it's a great way to say, hey, I understand this home may not be for you. Here's some of the other ones in the area I can show you today. When would be a good time to go take a look? You have them, they're right in front of you. They're in this house. They see all the activity. They see what you're doing for your clients. You've proven to them what you're capable of and what you will do. Go ahead and capitalize on it. Take it. Just run right there. Say, hey, if they're like, yeah, I want to go see the house that's 2 houses down. Say, great. Hey, I'm here until 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock. It's going to take me a little bit to clean up, but let me go ahead and call and set up that showing right now. And that's it. So there you go. You've already kind of locked them in. They know you. They like you. You're showing them one house here at the open house, then another listing afterwards. It's really easy to keep that conversation going and say, hey, what did you like? What didn't you like? It's normal conversation. It's normal sales. You're not doing anything weird. You're just being a normal salesperson. You're asking for the business. So okay, it's been a couple hours. Everything's finally wound down. Thank God. You're exhausted. You're face blind at this point, so you can relax. All right? No, not at all. This is just the next stage. This is where you really start converting all of those leads into clients. Before the open house, I recommend filming a short little 30-second or 1-minute video, just thanking them for stopping by the open house and that it was an absolute pleasure to meet you. If you could please just text me back a little bit of feedback on the home, it would be greatly appreciated. And I know the seller would like to hear it. And just to let you know, in a day or two, I'll be giving you a call to follow up. And that's really all that video has to be. It's real simple, and it's just continuing the conversation that you started while they were at your open house. And by kind of giving the message ahead of time that, yeah, I will be following up. When you do call, they're not going to be surprised. They're not going to be upset. Like, okay, yeah, he told me he was going to call, and he's actually calling. If you think back to some of the other videos that we did, the number one complaint was that agents didn't call back, or they didn't follow up, and they did so poorly if they did at all. I mean, these are what buyers are telling us they don't want us to do, is to let it fall off the cliff. Go ahead and take that extra step. Follow up with them. Show them that you're doing what you say you're going to do. Win that credibility and win the business. Now the follow through. Okay, so we've gone through the open house. We've showed a couple of properties afterwards. We've packed up all the food. We've cleaned the house. It's probably about 6, maybe 7 o'clock at night now. You're just getting home. You're wiped, but you still have work to do. All right, you're going to have to go and add all those leads to CRM, put your notes in, put your contact again dates in there, because I guarantee by the time you put your head down for bed, you're going to forget everything. You will not remember any of this because you're just going to be too freaking tired. But if you're not putting everything into CRM, you're going to lose track of stuff. The next day when you wake up and you open up Outlook and your contact again fields have already imported in there, so you can just look at that and fill out your prospecting sheet. You can jump right into it and kind of fall back onto your systems, not have to stop and try to remember, oh wait, was this the guy with the 2 kids? Oh wait, no, did they have the dog? Oh man. You're already going to have it in your notes. It's going to be in your CRM. You're not going to forget it. And let the system do that work for you. Now, when you're calling these folks, like I said, they already know you. They like you. You've qualified them face to face. You're providing a ton of value for them. Not only have you let them come into the home, you've given them a great time with getting to meet everyone, getting to meet their potential future neighbors, getting to meet some people that are going to help them take care of their lawn when they do move in. And it's a really easy conversation to follow up. It's the easiest call in the world. It's not even a cold call. It's not even a lukewarm call. It's a very warm call. For potential sellers, hey, you've absolutely blown them out of the water. I guarantee they've never seen an open house quite like this, with so much action and so much marketing and attention paid to it. And so when you're following up with them, saying, hey, what did you think of the house? Do you see your home selling in that same price range? Yeah, we had a lot of potential buyers come through. We did write one offer. It wasn't quite accepted, but that's okay. We're gonna keep following up. But so when we're looking at your home, are you still thinking of selling in 3 to 6 months? I'd be more than happy to come over and do a home valuation for you. It's really easy. It's a very, very easy phone call because you've already done the action. They've already seen it and the results from it. You're gold. No one else is doing that. So you're coming in with Redefine with a very strong, unique value proposition. All this activity that you've done up front, that's your very strong, unique selling proposition. So following up with these folks is really, really easy. And like I said, they are the best leads you're ever going to get. You've already had a chance to qualify them just in talking to them as normal people. They're expecting your call because you've sent out the video after the open house thanking them. So there's absolutely no reason to not be pushing through here. You should be generating enough leads that your prospecting is absolutely jam-packed for the next 2 to 3 days. If you're not, we're going to have to kind of make a couple of adjustments, but you're going to be jamming. Like I said at the beginning, this is a lot of work, especially the first half dozen times. It's going to feel overwhelming. It's going to feel like it's taking forever, like it's eating your life. But it gets easier. It has a very steep learning curve, a steep kind of execution curve. But once you get into it, once you kind of realize the systems and you have a couple of local vendors you can partner with on the regular, and you don't have to go hunt them down all the time, it gets much, much, much faster. You can cut your time in half, and to the point where you can really do 2 or even 3 of these a week and generate a ridiculous amount of business. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or contact me directly. I'll be more than happy to help out whoever I can. Thank you for watching.